Ever feel a sharp pinch in your shoulder when lifting? Or maybe it aches after a workout? Shoulder pain can mess up your training, and one of the most common culprits is shoulder impingement syndrome. Today, we're breaking down what it is, how it happens, and most importantly, how to fix it. I'm JJ, and a quick disclaimer though, I'm a little rusty on the basics of combat first aid. My EMT training has long expired, and even though I was top of my class for both Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, I'm not a professional. This content is a combination of information I learned in class, information I found online, as well as my own personal experience with shoulder injuries. With that out of the way, let's go.
This is JJ Actual. We are Oscar Mike.
I don't want this video to be solely on anatomy, but it's important to explain some of the anatomy along with the basic movements of the shoulder to better explain the information later in this video. Don't worry, I'll try to use language that's easy to understand even for a Marine like myself to comprehend. And I'm sorry, I did not bring enough crayons for everyone. I'm sorry, I know what it is. But I will be including photos and videos. First, let's go over some of the anatomy of the rotator cuff, as well as some of the movements of the shoulder. The shoulder is comprised of three bones: the scapula, also known as the shoulder blade, the clavicle, also known as the collarbone, and the humerus, also known as the upper arm bone. The rotator cuff muscles are easily remembered with the mnemonic SITS, S-I-T-S, which are the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, the teres minor, and the subscapularis. There are also important tendons there as well, and tendons are the connective tissue that attach muscle to bone. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint. It's like a golf ball on a tee. Tons of mobility, but also prone to instability. There are essentially 9 movements of the shoulder. Flexion. This movement involves raising the arm forward in front of the body. Extension. This movement involves moving the arm backwards away from the body. Abduction. Alpha Bravo, abduction. That is the movement involving raising the arm away from the body in a sideways motion. Okay? Abduction is often used in activities such as lifting weights or performing lateral raises. Think about abduction is going away from the body, as being abducted. Adduction, Alpha Delta Delta, ADD. This movement involves bringing the arm back towards the body after being raised in abduction. Think of adduction as adding back towards the body. Medial/internal rotations. Internal rotation happens when the shoulder turns inwards toward the front of the body. Throwing motions and many swinging motions finish with the shoulder turning inwards. There are 4 rotator cuff muscles, and only one of them turns the shoulder inwards, the subscapularis. Lateral/external rotation. One of the main motions of the rotator cuff is external rotation. Shoulder impingement happens when the rotator cuff tendons get trapped under their acromion, which is a bony projection located at the top of the shoulder blade, causing irritation and pain, especially when lifting overhead. A neat tool will be used in class is the goniometer. The goniometer, flip this around for you correctly here, is a tool that measures the range of motion. So essentially what you have here is a fulcrum. You have a piece where you want to hold your angle, and then you have an arm that moves around where you can read the measurements. Why is that important? If untreated, shoulder impingement can progress to rotator cuff tears, making early intervention crucial. And here's the part most people miss. Shoulder impingement isn't just about the shoulder. Your posture and scapular strength play a huge role. I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. Quick test. Raise your arm overhead. Do you feel a pinch or restriction at the top? You might have impingement. This is super common in athletes and lifters who do a lot of overhead motions. Think throwing, swimming, or pressing weights? Do you have pain when lifting your arm? Weakness in the shoulder? Pain when sleeping on the affected side? I'll tell you, when I injured my shoulder, it was like night and day. I used to be able to rep out 100-pound overhead press with the dumbbells. After my shoulder injury, I could barely hit 20 pounds, and sleeping on that side was extremely painful. So, before lifting, you need to wake up your rotator cuff. Skipping this step could be why you're feeling the pain. Let's fix that with 3 key warm-ups. Okay, we're going to talk about some warm-ups for your shoulder. The first one's going to be band external rotations, and this strengthens the rotator cuff and improves stability. If you're not doing this, you should start today. Remember, stability, we don't need to worry, focus on adding too much strength. That was a mistake I made, and that's really what damaged my shoulder was when I was going through my divorce, doing a lot of, internal and external rotations with way too much weight, and that's not good, okay? So what we have here is just some bands that got off Amazon, and they're just elastic bands, okay? They come in different colors for different resistances. So what I have here, this color here is the blue one is light, and I'm going to be using the extra light just to show you, okay? What you're going to want to do is place the band in on your wrist there, all right? Around your wrist like that. You're going to keep your elbows down at your sides. You're going to have your forearms about parallel to the floor. You're going to start with the grip closed like this, with your fist a little bit closer together and toward the medial aspect or midline. So this is the medial, lateral is off to the side. Okay, so you're going to externally rotate, hold for a few seconds, and slowly come back in. Okay, don't go fast with this one. This is just a nice stability stretch, a little warm-up exercise. All right, now another thing you can also do is you can raise it up once you get to your rotation. Okay, so what that looks like is this: rotate it, and then I'm going to bring the band up to about eye level, hold, and then come back down. Okay? I would say consult obviously with a specialist. I try to do about over 12 to about 20-ish. So you just get a slight burn in the shoulder muscles there. The next one's going to be scapular retractions. Most people have a weak upper back, and it pulls the shoulder into a bad position. You fix that, you fix the pain, okay? If you think about it, more now than ever, we're on electronics, we're at a desk, we're doing, we're typing, or, people are on their phones and things like that. And what that does, if you see, my back is rounded, and that's not a very good position to put your shoulder and your scapula in, okay? Your shoulder blade, all right? So if you imagine if, like a butterfly, okay? If you are rounded forward, that scapula / shoulder blade is going to be in a rotated position. So for scapular retractions, what you want to try to do is kind of bring that back and stretch it back into place, all right? And what that looks like is now you're in a position like this, where almost like you're grabbing an imaginary bar above you, okay? And you want to squeeze, almost like you're imagining you're bending the bar and you're pulling it apart. You can also do that with a band, okay? Like up here, and you just squeeze. And the band provides a lot of resistance in that area. Okay, I'm not quite sure how much that's showing through on my shirt. I've lost a decent amount of muscle mass since my injuries are adding up, and I haven't been really able to go to the gym. But essentially what you want to do is you want to get that scapula and you want to retract it, okay? See here, retract it. There we go. So imagine if, it's like X-ray vision. All right, just like that. The next one is arm circles. In the Marine Corps, we call these sun gods. Starting position, arms out to your sides, and you're going to be just doing nice small rotations. Forward, and then about, 10 of these. I'm not quite sure how many I've done so far. In the Marine Corps, we do a 4-count exercise. And then you could also go to the reverse. Okay, just get some blood flow to your deltoids, the different aspects. Sorry, your shoulder muscles. Your deltoid is actually the muscle here that covers your shoulder on top, okay? Just trying to keep this as basic as possible. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying it for my Marine self. Try adding these before your next workout and let me know in the comments below if you notice a difference. All right, you're already dealing with impingement. Don't worry, I've got you. Here are 3 rehab moves to strengthen and open the joint. All right, time for some rehab exercises. So the first one we have is pendulum swings, okay? And essentially, it's letting your arm hang and move in small circles. This relaxes the joint and improves blood flow, okay? So there are different ways where you can do this. You can lean on a table, just like this, okay? You're letting your arm dangle here, and ideally what you want to do is rock your hips back and forth, and that causes your arm to swing. You can swing your arm, but essentially what we want to do is let those muscles stretch out and allow for blood to flow. So you're actually using your legs to create the pendulum motion, okay? You can also go the other direction, different in circles, get your arm to swing a little bit. If you have a chair, some people might have a chair. My chair's a little short, but you can hold on to this and do the same thing. You can bend over. And remember, when you're bending over, okay, you know how you look at, I'm built kind of like a silverback, where, you look at a gorilla and their back is straight. You don't want your back arched when you're doing this, okay? You want your back in more of a neutral position, not overly stiff, but just in a nice neutral position, okay? And you're gonna hold it over the chair like this, and you're just gonna rock your hips back and forth, and that's gonna create a pendulum motion. And you can rock in a circular motion to get your arm going a circular motion. Those are pendulum swings. All right. The next rehab is wall slides, okay? I'm gonna use my computer here because it's kind of hard to, I guess we could do this one here. Yeah, okay, here we go, we'll just do this. It's kind of difficult. We use my computer, all right? Essentially, you're gonna glide your arm up and down the wall, okay? Kind of like you're almost painting, all right? Another technique I learned in physical therapy was wall crawls or spider crawls. And what you do is, as you're going up the wall, you're actually using your fingers to slightly pull your arm upwards. And then you kind of walk it down just like this, okay? And what it does is it retains your shoulder movement patterns and builds control. So you can either paint, nice and easy up the wall, and then slide your hand down slowly, or you can spider crawl, which you kind of just walk using your fingers, walk up the wall to a point where there's no discomfort. You don't want to go to the point of discomfort, and then you slowly crawl your arm back down, okay? And I usually do about 10 to 12 of those. It totally depends on what program you're doing. Like I said, I'm just showing you the rehab exercises. It's truly up to you to go find a professional, either physical therapist assistant, occupational therapist, those kind of individuals that can help you further with this stuff. But this is just to show you, all right? The next one is face pulls. I actually really loved this one when I was hitting the gym hard for rear delts and also rhomboids, lower traps, upper lats, that kind of area. But it strengthens the rear delts and rotator cuff. Proper form is everything here. Don't rush these. Face pulls. So you've seen, I'm not quite sure if you're a gym goer, but if you are a gym goer, you've seen people where they're taking the ropes, all right, above them. They're gripping them and they're pulling this way. Okay? See another angle here. So you're at about a, say, 45-degree angle and you are pulling this way. Now, with your hands in this position, kind of like a motorcycle, I don't feel that it's as beneficial as actually turning your hands this way. So when you do it, turn your hands where you have your thumbs pointing to your face versus your thumbs pointing away. So you have your thumbs pointing towards you and you grip, you can even grip the air, okay? But ideally what you want is your hands and arms about a 45-degree angle, okay? And so you have your thumbs facing towards you. You're going to pull back. And as you pull back, you're going to squeeze your rhomboids area and your upper back there, okay? Like I said, not sure if that's showing through, if you can see the contraction or not, okay? And those are the 3 rehab exercises. But here's the key. Just doing these won't fix the issue if your posture is trash. I'll show you one quick fix for that at the end. All right. This one's about proper form / posture, okay? So, a quick tip is when you're standing straight up, do your thumbs point inward or do they point outward? The reason why I say that is because if your thumbs, as you're standing straight up, if they're pointing inward, look at how much that is causing my shoulders to rotate versus my thumbs pointing outwards. That naturally opens up the chest here, okay? A lot of individuals will have tight pectoralis major and minor. So the minor pec underneath here, okay, is really tight. And what that does, okay, is it causes things to pull and get tight and cause that shoulder to roll forward, all right? So the way you think about it is bones are strong, okay? We are built to stand upright. So when people say stand up straight, what you'll see is people exaggerating. I have a back injury, so I really can't show you too much, so I'm actually going to brace myself here. You'll see people really, over-exaggerate, okay? And that's too much, all right? What you want is something called, in what I learned in yoga class, was axial extension. You want to imagine you bringing your body or your head a little bit taller, all right? And what that does is when you do that with your thumbs pointed forward, is it naturally causes you to be more upright, okay? So axial extension. You also want to push this right here is called the sternum, okay? Kind of push that forward a little bit, all right? Not exaggerated, again, all right? See if I can brace on this here. Not exactly exaggerated, but just a little bit, all right? So you want, when you stand up straight, to have this bowling ball in line with your spine all the way down, and you want a slight anterior tilt of the pelvis. Not a lot, just a slight anterior tilt, all right? In line with your hip bones, in line with your femur / upper leg bone, in line with the tibia and all the way to your heels, also known as the calcaneus, all right? So basically, you want to be just standing up straight. I know that's a long-winded thing. I apologize. I have to brace myself often now. But yeah, that is for proper posture. Easy thing to remember is when you walk, just visualize pointing your thumbs outwards. And if you just stand there and you point your thumbs outwards, it will, naturally rotate that shoulder girdle open. See that? Okay. Shoulder health is key for long-term training success. If this video helped, you know what to do. Only like, subscribe, or hit that bell if you think I have earned it. Stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next one. JJ Actual, out.